Damn.
So, and like, I believe one of them was the Contender Series, but still, man, like, I just don't think he's UFC ready. Just because you could win an exciting fight on a Contender Series,
stripes and he'll come back way better.
I think so, and maybe not even demote him. Just tell him, hey, dude, maybe go get some more experience because he's young. You know, like UFC.
You don't want to end his career at that young age.
We're still in this weird phase of the Contender Series where, like, you can win one exciting fight and boom, you have a UFC contract. It's like, dude, I could go in there and fucking knee someone in the face, and if it connects, like, that doesn't mean I deserve a contract. That means I just got a lucky knee. You know, like, I don't know. That's just the way I see the whole Contender Series thing. That's the one thing about the Ultimate Fighter that's better, which shout out to the Ultimate Fighter coming back on June 1st, which is only in like a week.
Hell yeah, that's what's up. Who's the coaches?
Brian Ortega and Alex Volkanovski.
Oh, that's right. I did hear about that. That's
yeah.
sick.
Yeah, we've actually got a little preview coming up tomorrow night of it on ESPN+.
Legitness.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. So, going into this next, to finish my point on the Ultimate Fighter is like you prove yourself more and more in that one. You know, like you don't just get one lucky chance and then all of a sudden you're in the UFC.
Yeah.
And like the caliber
That's a good process, bro.
The caliber of fighters that exist now.
It's like he's not only are they going to come up on the fucking film part, you know, because everything's getting filmed. You know, there's money behind all that shit.
True, but what I'm saying is,
and they you know, it's like a way of doing it how other sports do it when they bring up college players, bro. It's their own little way. You get what I'm saying? And it's dope. You get to really see who the fighter is as a person, bro, in the show. I like that shit.
Well, the thing about the Ultimate Fighter is it used to be a lot more like amateur to pro style, where like these guys all had amateur fights that want to get into the pros. Now all these guys got pros. Yeah.
Just savage.
It's just all pros that want a chance in the UFC that are willing to take time out of their life to go live in a house and talk shit.
Let's fucking go.
It's going to be an exciting...
anybody.
Yeah. We're going to get like...
Fucking whole room full of fucking testosterone.
Well, remember how it was when Cody
up.
Garbrandt was on the Ultimate Fighter? Like, there was just a bunch of good fighters that year, and Cody was just the best of a crop of good fighters, you know? And like... That's how it's going to be from now on, is like all really good fighters. You know, MMA's been out for 20 years. You know, there's fucking thousands of black belts.
Like a motherfucker.
Thousands of black belts exist now. You know,
been out for way more than 20.
No, it's 23 years that MMA's been a thing, bro. Well, 28 actually. It's our life. 93 is when that shit became a thing. The UFC's 23 years or 28 years old. 93.
Okay, yeah. So the UFC is 20-something.
And the UFC is the creation of...
MMA's been around forever.
Well, the mixing of martial arts only started with Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was like the originator of mixing martial arts together. He would go train at different dojos, and it was really frowned upon.
Bet you his grandpa did it too, and nobody knew.
No. Like, he was actually like, if you go back and read about it, like he was like disciplined for it, for like going to other dojos and shit, and like they didn't want to let him in and shit. Like, it's crazy. But here's one thing that sucks about Bruce Lee: he never competed in nothing.
Boss hog.
He went straight to acting.
Boss hog.
So then we have Yan Xiaonan versus Carla Esparza, and let me just say,
oh baby, let's go.
I wanted Yan to win because she was one win away from fighting for a championship. So like this was definitely a number one contender match because Carla Esparza's got to win over Rose to win the first strawweight championship.
Oh shit!
So like this for all intents purposes was the number one contender match.
So she might just get that chance.
Yeah, so you know what Carla does? She comes in there and just bullies her way in, out wrestles her, stands on top of her arm, gets this weird mounted crucifix, and just pummels her, bloodies her, opens her up, gets the crucifix KO. It was really impressive, man.
Yes, sir.
Carla's one of those chicks that if she starts using her wrestling the way she should, she'll be a champion for a long time. The only issue is that if Thug Rose gets her hands on any one of these chicks in this division, it will be a problem.
Yeah, for sure, bro. She's a fucking beast. That's why I picked her to win. You already know. Hopefully she gets that fucking title shot. I think she deserves it. Dana White was talking a lot about it, that he's enticed to even think about it. Like, ooh, you know, I do like that.
The only thing I think Dana White...
Bro, she was a fucking monster in there.
I think he wants to keep a championship on an American fighter, and I think he wants to stop the revolving doors of championships changing belts for a minute. Like, it's so hard to get a face of your company when the champion's constantly getting beat. But, like, that's not what we're about. You know, the UFC was never supposed to be this marketing machine. The UFC was the brand that came out and said, we're going to put on the best fights because that's what our fans want. So hopefully they continue with that because this is what we want. But what's happening right now is you have Joanna, who hasn't fought in about a year, who's trying to come back, wants to only fight Rose or Wei Li. And, you know, she really should fight Wei Li. They're both coming off of losses, you know. But here's the issue. But here's the issue is that Joanna can't fight Rose because she's got 2 losses in championship fights against Rose already. Rose beat her to get the championship, and then she defended it. She choked her out and then KO'd her. So it's like, it's so hard to...
It's not even a trilogy in all reality because she got whooped out twice.
But that was also like 5 years ago. So it's like, Joanna has really improved since then, but you can't make the argument for her.
Still.
There's no making the argument on her behalf.
She's just going to model and stop getting her pretty face beat up.
This guy. You just love her. But there's nothing wrong with that. Carla Esparza is a savage. She's going to be jumping in. I think you're going to get Carla Esparza versus Rose. You're going to get Joanna versus Wei Li. And I think that's how you're going to wrap that division up. I don't think you have too many outstanding fights outside of that. You know, everybody's kind of tied up in that sense. But there's no denying Wei Li. They want to give Wei Li the rematch because of how many people are in China. And let's not be, fake about that. Over 1 billion people that Dana White gets to market towards if they have a champion with the Chinese logo, which, like I said, hopefully we get away from this marketing thing that Dana White's been bent on, which I get it. It's a business, but like shit, dude, like you still got to make the right fights.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Look at what boxing's going through, man. Like we don't need that. So hopefully that Wei Li can, accept the fight with Joanna, get in there, maybe get another win over her. If not, get the hands going again, not get kicked in the side of the head because Rose is going to go out there and do the same shit, be violent.
Yeah, she's a savage.
And here's the thing is...
Silent savage.
Wei Li Zhang Wei Li said that the boos are what threw her off. She walked out there and got booed. You're a fighter. Don't tell me you've never been booed before.
What the fuck? That's a weirdo-ass excuse.
And, like, I get it. China, they're hella respectful. They're quiet. They clap for, like, transitions in the grappling. But, like, I don't care. Don't tell me you've never been booed before.
That makes no sense.
So, let's get down to the main event. Rob Font versus Cody Garbrandt. And if you didn't see it, we're gonna break it down right now. Rob Font with the 1-2. Rob Font with the 1-2.
That's it.
Rob Font with the 1-2. The whole fight. The 5 rounds of Rob Font with the 1-2.
Dude was too long.
Too elusive. Cody was struggling to hit him. And all credit to Cody Garbrandt, man. Dude's chin's still there. Coming off of the worst case of vertigo, the worst case of COVID, a year of no fighting. He had a bicep tear coming off that crazy knockout. Like, Cody Garbrandt just went through the craziest year and a half of his whole life.
Yeah. But he did say, he's like, man, I feel like I'm more ready than the fucking Cruz fight.
Everybody says that, man. I'm sick of...
He was hyped.
But I'm sick of fighters always talking about how this is it's always the best camp, dude. It's always the best camp. When you're retired, Look back and tell me which one was the best camp, because I bet you it's the 3rd or 4th fight you had. It ain't that one. Whatever one we're on right now, it ain't that one, Cody. For him, the best he ever felt was going into that Dominic Cruz fight. I don't care what anybody says. That was a performance of his lifetime.
Well, yeah, no shit. Sure.
So no matter what he says, that was his best camp.
Yeah, you can argue that.
Like, I don't care how he felt. That was the best.
It's just he's just talking out of emotion.
So, and I said, I believe every fighter thinks that their most recent camp is their best camp. It's now.
It's like your neighborhood drug dealer.
You just have to believe it, I think.
This shit right here.
I think you have to believe it, But Rob Font with the 1-2 all night. He got the win, going 19-4 in his record. I think the only fight next for him is Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz came off that win against Casey Kenny, and there's nobody left for him in the division.
And
I think that's the fight to make.
That'd be sick.
The only thing I don't understand though about it is if he doesn't fight Dominic Cruz, there's really nobody coming off a win that he could fight because Jose Aldo's fighting Pedro Munez or whatever it is.
Yeah.
TJ Dillashaw and Corey Sandhagen are fighting.
Nice.
There's really nobody left.
You just gotta wait and be patient.
It's either Dominic Cruz or you wait for the winner of something.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Or say fuck it if you really want to stay active.
I think he could bait Henry Cejudo to come back.
Damn.
I think Rob Font could, because right now Rob Font's considered one of the best boxers in MMA, and he's trying to come back and be a boxer.
Henry Cejudo's hella short, so that's a bad matchup.
But Henry Cejudo also claims to be the king of 125, 135, and wants to be the king of 145. So
yeah, of course. But I'm just saying, that's a bad matchup.
Hey, he also said he's gonna go get a boxing world championship for Dana.
We gotta be with him, homie.
He said we'll go from C4 to C5.
Fuck it.
Hey, I'll never doubt any of the American Olympians, man. Those fools got a different mindset.
That fool licked the toad.
Right? That's only because he's best friends with Mike Tyson. So, Tony Ferguson talking all types of weird shit. He says now he's mad all of a sudden.
Young Fabia Jr. or what?
I don't know. Did you hear? You heard that Joshua Fabia and Diego Sanchez broke up, though?
Yeah.
And now, here's the real money fight. Joshua Fabia versus Diego Sanchez.
Right, McGregor.
That's the money fight. That's the money fight.
Epic.
So, if you didn't hear, Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury is off. The Tyson Fury and Wilder fight is booked though.
Yeah.
Going in. It was actually just made official. Arbitration went into effect like 2 weeks ago. The fight was official yesterday, I believe, is when it got announced for.
I don't even know, but yeah.
I believe it's July 24th.
That shit's been announced, bro.
No, it's July 24th.
They were just promoting it.
Yeah, they announced, but yesterday they literally signed their contracts.
When they say that, homie, that shit really happening.
Yeah, I think they were debating ring size again.
Everything.
That's always the last one. That or gloves. It's always like 10% horse leather or 7% mule leather.
Give me the smallest ring, homie.
Right. Put me in a 4 foot by 4 foot square.
You're gonna knock me out, homie. I ain't trying to go 12 rounds.
These fools want 25 by 25. I want 4 by 4, son. Put me in a 4 foot box.
Rounds, you just gotta go at it.
We're going 12 seconds, homie. What's up? Paul Felder was beefing with Islam Makhachev last week, and then on the broadcast, I don't know if you heard, Paul Felder announced he's retiring.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Irish Dragon came out and said
stay on top.
He's been
a good fighter, man. That guy was cool to watch.
Yeah, but he said he's just been enjoying being at home a lot more.
Fuck yeah.
He's been doing triathlons, bro.
You can't fucking beat that, bro. Way more free time, way more everything, health, everything's way better, bro.
He's liking doing triathlons. He's liking having his brain still. He's liking commentating. He's still making good money. He pays all his bills. Yeah. Hopefully he starts a good podcast. I'd love to hear Paul Felder's take on a lot of these fights instead of just hearing him commentate. Dude's got a fantastic brain for this sport, and I'd love to hear him talk about it more. Like DC level, you know?
Yeah.
Dominic Cruz level.
Every
like these guys
talk about it. Well, that's why it's becoming a trend in every sport now. Even in soccer, bro. It was never a lot of you wouldn't see ex-players become coaches, bro. It was always some random ass OG cat being the coach, and that shit even became a trend, bro. Because it's they carry that masterful fucking way of playing and everything. You know what I mean? So It's a trend in all sports, I believe, bro. Look at Steve Nash with
it's
Brooklyn,
starting,
bro.
It's
you know
starting.
What I'm saying? Like everywhere, it's becoming a real thing, bro.
It used to only be
Like,
few and far